After taking place at a super speedway and heading to an intermediate/short track, we head down to a road course here in wine country at Sonoma Raceway in California. We're here to see which drivers are going to be at the top of the road course. We've seen different skill sets, as I mentioned earlier, and now going to see who's going to be near the top of the standings in this road course action here. It was a bit of a slugfest out on the Cup Series, very close action for the lead. We'll see what the trucks bring in store as we head on down. My name is Finney Kuna here with Connor Horn for another race here of the Area Truck Series. And Connor, glad to have you in the booth as always.
Yep, glad to share the booth with you once again. Haven't done this one-on-one thing in a while. Let's go and do it again. Love to do it here in wine country, Sonoma. Great racing last night, as you were talking about with the Cup Series. James Scioli was the runner-up last night to, I believe, Jake Nichols, who dominated that race, held the lead for almost the entirety of that thing. It's going to be a little bit of a different story potentially for Scioli tonight. He doesn't have to fend off Jake Nichols, but he does have a very fast Travis Beckner on the timesheets, among other contenders who we saw last night as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we take a look at the drivers out there in practice, let's have a look quickly at the point standings heading into tonight. Ryan Hart and Jordan Hurley have nothing to worry about for tonight. They're locked in for the playoffs when they start in about, trying to do the quick math here, in about 10 races time. Everyone else, they're going to be the ones fighting out for win. Guys like James Scioli, Colin Fambro, Matt Bell, and Travis Beckner, got to mention him as well. He's been pretty good at the road courses here this week, so definitely expect to see him near the top of the top of the running order when things are all said and done.
And he's obviously got other guys in there. Guys like Scioli, Fambro, Beckner, they're good on points, and as long as they keep running the way they are, even if they somehow don't win races themselves, the more good finishes they have, that points bubble will be better and better. But you do have to worry about getting too many winners for this top 12 cutoff. A few other drivers in there. Weishart, only +9, 8th in the points. Definitely someone I'd look to contend in the coming weeks. We'll see what he can do on the road course tonight. And you got those guys below the cut line. Once again, still around 10 races to go before we cut off the rest of the field from the playoffs. A little bit too early, but guys like Tommy Ryan, Brad Slaughter, AJ Roderick under that cut line, got to get going at some point.
Yeah, definitely do. Definitely want to get to an solid early start in this season. Also taking a look quickly at the team standings. Jacob L Racing off to a good start, about an 11-point lead over 5 Wide Esports, and you'll definitely know the 5 Wide guys because all of their trucks are painted the same, and one of their members won last week at The Rock. IRLC Motorsports tied for them in second place with Sci-Fi Racing, David Weishart Racing close behind in 4th and 5th.
We got the, I'd say bottom 6 teams, but not really bottom. Everyone's pretty close together. I see the top 7 teams only separated by about 52 points. Sky Motorsports, surprised they're not a little bit higher. We'll see what they can do today. Unacceptable Racing right down there. And then you got the 2 bottom teams, Hartman Motorsports, Expert Racing Esports. Got to do some catching up there. You usually don't see HMS down at the bottom of the pylon, but maybe I'm thinking of the Cup Series rather than actually Area.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing is the difference between these Cup Series. All these guys, they had some practice here last night for the Cup Series event, but now we head into the trucks, and while they're both stock cars, Connor, you and I can both tell they drive a little bit differently. Very
differently. There used to be similarities, but we went to a next-gen car. The way you want to drive Cup cars, we saw it last night, do not slide the tires. And talking about the tires, you don't change tires either. That was the winning strategy. That was the best strategy for Scioli and Jake Nichols, who took the top 2 spots. Tires, the way they heat up on a next-gen car, you don't need to take tires because cold tires are bad. You want all the heat you can need, and Scioli just gets out of the way. Wasn't happy with the traffic in front of him. So that's one thing we're going to see differently. We get the green flag pit stops, which no doubt we shouldn't see any yellow flag unless an extreme circumstance tonight. You're going to see people take 4 tires. The tires are going to wear. Next-gen cars, you slide them, you're spinning. So you don't see a lot of drivers sliding them. Someone like Jordan Hurley, if he's sliding a little bit in the truck, that's okay because he's not going to go spinning. Next-gen car is so difficult to save. You're going to see these trucks hanging out all over the place, and we're going to see them probably bash the curbs along the way. You could not do anything with those curbs without spinning out in the next-gen last night. I think you're going to see these trucks attack those curbs tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to be glad they're going to be able to attack those curves without any issue. We saw quite a few drivers near the top of the standings have issue when they were fighting it out last night, and guys going spinning off the track and basically calling it a day. Some guys were able to get away with it. They were able to get just a slight bit of damage. We saw especially a few off of turn number 5, which is the turn David Weishart's approaching here. We saw guys clip the curb either at the apex or an exit, go spinning off to the inside, clipping the wall. Some got lucky, some not so much. As you mentioned, these guys here should be able to take a lot of curb and be okay. That being said, though, tire wear, that's going to be a big story that they didn't have to deal with last night.
Yeah, once again, talking about the tires last night in these next-gen cars, you got faster the longer you ran, hence making sure that you did not need to take tires when you pit, whether you pit early or late. That's another thing we're going to look at, see what the strategies are tonight. But one thing we're going to have to for sure look at is how far the times drop off. Last night, the times got better and better. Tonight, I don't think we're going to see that. You might be seeing fall off of 1 to 2 seconds. A lot of times with the Xfinity cars and the trucks at road courses, the fall off is not very consistent. A lot of drivers sort of get in their own head, maybe go off track here and there, just not putting in consistent laps. So track position was the name of the game last night. I think tonight, you're just going to have to keep your truck on track and make sure you don't make any rash decisions.
Yeah, that's the big thing, too, is making sure you don't make rash decisions. I think especially with the tire coming in more into play. We saw the next gen, the tire wasn't that big of an issue, so guys are able to push constantly, be aggressive throughout the run here. You're going to have to kind of change that mindset. You're going to have to watch your stuff, and as you mentioned, just not make any aggressive moves. Save your tires. And we saw a few guys even, I remember quite a few guys locking up last night. It's another thing you want to look out for. Save your tires, save your equipment. It's a long race ahead, 40 laps. And also got to mention, too, no caution. That's a new rule for this season. We saw that taking place last night, too. Went green, flag to flag. Only chance we do have out of cautions unless something, the server goes down or something catastrophic happens. Even if there's a wreck on the track, no caution will be thrown by the admin team. So it's effectively going to be green to the end. So it's going to be an endurance for quite a few of these guys.
Excuse me, is that Justin Anasagak? Or is
Anasagak,
that Anasagak? I couldn't tell if that was him or Dale Jr. It's pretty here, but yeah, like you said, the only way you get a yellow is if we get a track blocker, which without wide open, it gets after turn 1 up the hill at Sonoma. You're not really going to get a track blocker unless it's at a turn 4. Watkins Glen, if we were at Watkins Glen, you'd be at risk in the S's, but not tonight. So should be clean to the end here, as looking at a few drivers trying to put down times. Not seeing a lot of people doing any long runs. Even Scioli at the top of the leaderboard has no long run under his belt, just going hot laps strictly. It's obviously showing, got him to the top of the board with a 116.801. Travis Beckner, one driver we might see compete for the win with Scioli tonight, only 100th off. But once again, those two drivers only doing really hot lapping. Seems like almost everyone's doing hot lapping. Matthew Bell, same story for him, just going through the top 5. Colin Fern works at Brandonville Motorsports, the team in the Xfinity Series that won the Fall Dega race last year. He's always a fast driver and a very aggressive driver. He's probably got the longest run out of anyone in the top 5 right now, which is a record 3 laps.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting thing to point out, too, because we're talking about, watching your stuff, managing your equipment. And for a lot of guys at the moment, I mean, this is only the in-server practice. I'm sure these guys got practice before, and now they're probably just trying to make sure they can get a good run in for qualifying, which is just about to start here in a moment's time. But if you didn't practice those long runs, you're going to be in for potentially a bit of a surprise when it comes down to things.
Yeah, you really got to qualify well tonight. It's not going to be as important. I'll say track position at the beginning of this race is not going to be as important as last night with the Cup cars, with how bad Dirty Air seemed to be. It was very hard for the guys at the very front to pass anyone. It's not going to matter as much tonight in the trucks, but it will still matter. You don't want to start really even 15th on back. You get in this hornet's nest with a bunch of trucks, 42 trucks trying to start this race tonight. You do not want to be in the middle of it. You want to put yourself in the top 10 and put yourself firmly out of harm's way.
Yeah, everyone should be starting here tonight. Can't say it's going to be the same thing for the Lodge Box Series, which has been very packed with a lot of drivers. Well, I wasn't there for the race last week. Connor, how many guys were there at Rockingham?
45, going for, I believe, 42 or 43 spots. Don't remember how many pit stalls were there, but cut a few off from the qualifying session for sure. And that was why we had a little bit of a delay last week, because some people who made the race weren't allowed to grid. So hopefully that doesn't happen at, I believe, Mid-Ohio as we're going to.
Yeah, can you imagine, when was the last time you seen a race with 40 guys, over 40 stock cars at Mid-Ohio? I can't ever recall that ever happening. It's going to be crowded. That's a small track. That's a small road course.
I never saw it at Sonoma until last night, so that's one thing I'm loving about this series, with everyone trying to get into the race, everyone trying to get a piece of the action. From leagues I've either broadcasted with you or Kyle, or just running in general, even official races, you only get maybe even 20, if anything close to that. Seeing 40 trucks, 40 cars going at it on these smaller road courses, absolutely love it. Love seeing the action.
Take a look at Brad Slaughter getting up to speed, and since he's about to take the green here, let's ride on board with him. Take a look at how this track is from Brad Slaughter's point of view, heading up through the hill through turns 1 and 2. This is going to be a critical braking point. Just getting over the curves there, coming out wide. Decided to check to see him struggling to get the power down as he goes down the hill and then back up again through turn 3.
Up to turn 3. Don't really want to hit that curb too hard. Just want to barely touch it, get that run out. He's really struggling with the rear tires. You're going to see that all night long from some of these guys. Through turn 4, hit the curb a little bit there. Be careful getting on the gas. Don't go too wide there or you're going to nail that barrier there on exit of 4. Then in the sort of a hairpin type corner, turn 7, these trucks, you can use all the curb you need. Shortcut the corner a little bit, and now you're going to go through down the S's, hit those curbs a little bit, and perfectly just roll over these curbs going through the S's.
Yeah, then heading out, it's such a rhythm section. It's really important to nail just to make sure your lap time is okay in the race. Not as important, just to making sure you keep it on the black stuff. You can see him struggling out of the S's to keep the truck going straight. Down heavy, braking into the hairpin. So easy to outbrake yourself, but keeps it nice and tight. A little bit sideways out of the hairpin and back on the power. One left-hand curve to go, and it's back across the line for Brad Slaughter Jr. Where does he end up, though? This comes across the number 8 truck, currently in second, as everyone's putting down their first times.
James Scioli already on his second lap. It went about, I would say, half a second faster than Slaughter Jr. did, a 1:16.777, faster than his practice time, which I believe was basically him practicing Q. But just like that, Travis Beckner just barely went faster himself, a 1:16.753. Those two drivers, from what I've seen, have separated themselves from the rest of the field.
You can start to see the times appearing on the scoreboard here as everyone comes to complete their first few laps. David Weishart currently sitting in 7th. Going out for his second run, Cameron Hearn. He qualified in 7th the moment he reset his truck, so I assume his qualifying attempt is over. Be interesting to see where James Scioli ends up as he decided to go for a second attempt, and Travis Beckner actually currently sitting on top of all of them at the moment on provisional poles. See Scioli as he comes flying around. A lot of guys really struggling to get the traction out of the hairpin and across the line for the 7. Where does he end up? He's even struggling for traction out of that final curve.
You're going to see that all race long. The longer drivers go on tires. Scioli couldn't improve. Beckner's coming through the hairpin right now. You're seeing these drivers really push the rear tires on exit, but I believe in the race you'll see these drivers a lot more careful on how much throttle they're putting down out of corners and through corners. You don't want to ruin those rear tires if you're going to go on the long run. Beckner couldn't improve as well. 1.2 seconds off. That's how quick the tire fall-off's going to be tonight.
And Jordan Hurley, I think I remember, if I remember correctly in the interview, I think he was saying that he wasn't particularly looking forward to the road course here at Sonoma, but it's looking like he's doing pretty well at the moment. Not sure if it was him or Fambro. Although if Colin Fambro, for that matter, he didn't qualify, he didn't practice too bad either, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was in the top 10. We'll see, will he be in the top 10 for qualifying? 23rd.
Yeah, he actually wasn't that great in practice as far as a lap time. So 23rd, definitely pretty much smack dab in the middle of the field. Going to be tough to get through the field and get through the chaos that we might see on lap 1 from back there. Trying to see how many other drivers might be queuing right now. A lot of drivers parked it after the first lap. Figured the tires already had seen better days. Nothing to do now. Chris Seidenfaden, 1:19.043. 21st on the grid for the time being. One of the drivers trying to put down a second lap, but really lighting them up out of turn 2.
Yeah, we'll see that traction. You just lose so much grip, and he bleeding a lot of speed. I think at this point, it's safe to say this particular lap's not going to be faster. Yeah, that's a tough thing, though. It's so tempting, even though it is qualifying, to get on that power, but these things do not have that much grip. You got to really be careful, especially up and through the hills in Sector 1.
Yeah, that's really a trouble spot. You can really lose the rear end. The rear tires are going to be the focal point of tire wear. Obviously, the fronts are going to see a lot of work, but those rears, how you use your throttle out of corners is going to dictate how you're handling after 30 laps on a set. So someone like Shane Abbey, if he's lighting up the rear tires early in a short run, he's not going to be able to do anything out of a corners, and he's going to struggle. Yeah,
actually improved on a second lap, went up to 10th. So improvement for the 12 machine. Cameron Hearn back out on the track. Shouldn't be there for a time lap because he parked it after his first. Tommy Ryan off and through his set of laps, so he's all good to go. Take a look at Eric Wyland. He started his first timed lap, so one of the few guys out left still able to qualify. Still waiting on Wyland, Hartman, Tinge, Coe, Hicks, Taylor, Rafe Slate, Charles Canita, and Jeff Noe in the 55. Those drivers were left to qualify, although from the looks of it, I think we only got Wyland, Hartman, and Slate left to actually put a time down.
Eric Wyland looked like Parker Kligerman, pit reporter one day, race car driver the next.
Yeah, and Eric, big help on Mondays, or almost said Sunday nights, on Monday nights for the Cup Series, doing a fantastic job, being the pit reporter, as Connor mentioned, giving us great juicy info that all the teams are planning up and down the order, and also just the great driver reactions when things happen on track. Did a fantastic job yesterday. See if we can do a fantastic job on the track here tonight, at least in qualifying. Through the final hairpin he will go. Oh, hit the tire barrier, so he's going to have to go one more time.
I was about to say, I think he's getting too close, and he did. This lap shouldn't count unless he gets away with it, and it won't count, so you'll have to go again on worn tires. It's really going to hurt his starting position. Raf Slate, another driver who went out late, his first lap at 19.025. Not going to be very far up the leaderboard. I'm trying to see where it is. Puts him 22nd, so once again, another one smack dab in the middle of the entire pile. Saw one more driver out there. I believe it was Logan Hartman, who's on his first lap going into turn 7 as we speak, as Raf Slate's starting his second lap still.
And for Slate, don't expect him to improve. Wyland, though, he's got to get a time on the board.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful. It looked like a decent time, but obviously all for naught after messing up the hairpin. You need to get that close to the tires, though. I saw a few drivers in Cup practice last night hit it, and their cars near exploded. A few other drivers clipped it during the race, but nothing too severe. And that's what you have to do. You got to make up all the time you can that's possible. You have to get as close to those tires as you can. Some years they weren't bolted down. In iRacing, they're bolted down for good.
And Logan Hartman coming through the final hairpin here across the line for him to get a lap time on the board. Will not have enough time to make a second lap, so this is all he's going to have to go for here. 51, he's going to be 123. It's only going to be good enough for 35th.
Yeah, that's going to be last out of all the qualifiers.
Oh, and Wyland, not too bad of recovery. His time before was 118.5, so he would have been probably 14th, 15th at best. And speaking of which, Ray Slate just qualifying in 15th, so that's actually not too bad from Wyland. He was only a 10th off his fastest time.
Yeah, on a second lap to do that is actually really, really solid, like you were saying. So good recovery, not letting it get into his head. Just got to remember not to hit the tires in the race, because that will be pretty hurtful for his run. As looking at everyone on track, no more qualifiers. I believe 6 other drivers will not take a time, so 36 drivers put down times. Pole's going to be Travis Beckner. That's pretty key for the race. Track positioning doesn't matter as much as last night, but getting the pole is always a big advantage at a road course. 116.753. Separation through the entire field, about 6.3 seconds.
Yeah, with that, we have a slight warm-up period. We'll be back in about a minute or two here, so we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back here at Sonoma, gridding getting underway here for the event we have here tonight. Let's get down to the action. Let's get through your starting grid, because as we mentioned before, for many of these weeks, there's so many trucks out there, it's hard to get through them all in just one pace lap. So let's get started with your pole sitter with the grid presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. On pole, Travis Beckner in the 28, going to be lining up in first. James Scioli in the 7, going to be lining up in second. In behind them, it's going to be Colin Fern, the 86, lined up in third. Ryan Hart's in fourth in the number 3.
Some close times throughout the top 10. Row number 3, Jordan Hurley and Brad Slaughter Jr. very close, about a 100th separating them. But then behind them, row 4, Matthew Bell, who we saw get physical last night, alongside the 67 of Cameron Hearn.
Back in behind them, David Weiser going to be lining up in 9th in the 33. Next to him, Shane Abbey in the 12 truck lining up in 10th. Behind them, row 6, AJ Roderick in the 56 and 11th. Tommy Ryan in the 99 in 12th.
I don't want to mess this up too much. Justin Anasagak.
Anasogak.
Anasogak, I apologize. He's going to be starting in the 13th position. Cody Cutler in the 14th position. That's where the times start to kind of spread out and drop off. Ralph Slate, who went out late, he's going to start 15th, and pit reporter turned race car driver Eric Weiland alongside him in 16th.
Back in behind them, Danny Warner lineup in the 00 in 17th with Paul Swarben-Irvin in the 48 in 18th. Back in 19th, Jordan D. Martin in the 11 truck in 19th with Brian Swan rounding out your top 20 in the 19.
Two front runners last week at Rockingham in the Lodge Box Series. Jacob Bell, Justin Munsell starting side by side on row number 11. And behind them, Jeffrey Wilson, and then Chris Seidenfeld, 23rd and 24th on the grid.
James Shane will go line up in the 2 in 25th. Tyrell Hollman, the 42 in 26th. Garrett Grant in behind them in 46th and 27th. Colin Vanbrugh all the way back down the 18 truck in 28th.
And a few more drivers closer towards the rear of the field. Tom Bourne, Kahil Holmes, 29th to 30th, rounding out the top 30, and then Carter Coop and Jeff Ryan, 31st and 32nd with 120-minute laps.
Matthew Cochran line up in 33rd, Michael Lipe in 34th, Jeff Boyinger in 35th with Logan Hartman in 36th.
Those are the last of the guys who took down times. Some of the drivers who didn't put times down: Bobby Tidge, James Cooey, Josh Taylor, Jeff No, Charles Caneda, and Laith Hicks, who round out this field of 482 trucks starting tonight at Sonoma.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly thank Roasted Gems again, your starting grid sponsor. Fans, be sure to visit Roasted Gem Coffee for some of the finest coffee from all the world. Use discount code AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at roastedgems.com. Field rolling through the hairpin now, fielding control of Travis Beckner, leading him on down. 40 laps on tap for tonight as he brings them down, and we are green here at Sonoma. Decent start for the entire field as they work their way through turn 3. Beckner off to an early lead with Scioli and Fern chasing in tow.
Scioli had to fend off the challenge from Colin Fern. Fern got under the rear bumper of Scioli a little bit up the hill. Doesn't show on the back of Scioli, but at least cosmetically you can see a little bit of damage on the 86 of Fern already, as everyone trying to scramble to get single file before they get down into turn 7.
You can see a big gaggle of cars in the midfield here as the field works their way through the S's for the first time. All just a matter of finding your place in line at the moment and just getting yourself situated, which is a tough thing to do with 40 trucks on the track.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can do it with 20, maybe not 40. As you can see that mid-pack really jumbled up as they were in turn 7. A few drivers sliding left and right. Ryan Hart's trying to gather it up into 4th position, staying where he started. No movement really from any of the front runners, trying to look through the field, see how everyone gets through the hairpin. Clean so far.
Clean so far. Solid first lap from the rest of the field as they slowly start to get into their own battles now. Now the field's sorted out a little bit. We saw Brian Hart's trying to chase down the 86 of Fern, was in the grass trying to do so, just out of the S's.
Kahil Holmes had a little bit of an incident out of a hairpin, but not really any damage, just loses track position. Beckner got a really good jump. Once again, what is the word I'm looking for? Restart zone, initial start zone at these road courses. So Beckner was able to go pretty much whenever he wanted to out of a hairpin, and he got the jump and left Scioli in the dust for the time being. Let Fern have a little bit of a challenge for that second position, but Scioli's already back in a groove, and he's already closing in on that 28.
Looking off the back decklet of Jordan Hurley in 8th place in the 5, doing pretty well after that winner last week at Rockingham. Also got a mirror full of David Weiser, Shane Abbey, AJ Roderick heading through turn 7.
Yeah, really, 17th on back is where it's at. Eric Weiland has kind of fallen to 17th, and he's leading pretty much the rest of the field behind him, single file line. Really no side-by-side yet. Everyone got single file pretty quickly. All good there. Definitely see some pass attempts in the hairpin. Speaking of, one Ryan Hartz is charged into a podium position for 3rd on Colin Fern.
We'll take a look here at how he's able to get it done. First time wasn't so good because he was in the grass. This time was able to get himself to the inside, kept it nice and tight. Oh, some contact though. Decent amount of contact off the left rear.
Yeah, let's see how that affects those drivers. Didn't look like, maybe not much happening, but we'll see if anything comes of that. Maybe too much damage from some other drivers. Justin Munsell has a lot of front-end damage in the 23rd position. I think if you look at Ryan Swan's rear bumper, you'll find out why he has that front-end damage. A stack up in the hairpin, easy to happen when you're back there 20th on back.
Yeah, the Crumble Cookies machine, number 20.
Oh, Ryan Hartz is around. I think Colin Fern might have gotten back to him.
Just as we look away, some action happening near the front, and from what a little bit I saw of the SimRap Market replay, I think that's what indeed happened there. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Colin Fern's aggressive, showing it right there.
Take another look on board with Colin Fern here before we get back live. But yeah, Hartz did it to him early, and you can see Fern just returning the favor. Oh, he had no intentions of slowing down early for that corner.
Don't see why he'd do that intentionally, but Colin Fern's an aggressive driver. He's done that. He's hit me before. Not really his fault. I've definitely provoked him in the past, now that I think of it. But one thing that's not good about that, not only did you spin someone, but look at the front end of the 86. Pretty totaled already. Still in 3rd after that, but it's a lot of damage. Oh, he's going to go wide. That can't be helping him. That's going to put him in the clutches of Brad Slaughter Jr., who's moved his way from 6th to 4th. Cameron Hearn behind him, 8th to 5th. See if that 86 starts struggling with that damage.
Yeah, with the damage, these things are not that aerodynamic. I think if anything, you're more worried about the engine. But either way, you don't want to be damaging your equipment regardless. You want to try to keep it as clean and tidy as possible, prevent any damage from happening. And I can see Brad Slaughter taking advantage of the damage. 86 all over the back of him, the S's.
This might start a stack up if Slaughter can't get by. It's going to be Hearn and Bell all over this battle. And then Hurley and Weishart can get into the fray if that 86 won't budge. And while all this is happening with the struggles for the 3rd position, the top 2 are gone. Travis Beckner still leading Scioli by a few tenths as cones go flying into the hairpin.
And cones always go flying in the hairpin. Everyone taking advantage there. You see Hearn down to the inside of Brad Slaughter Jr. Door was open. Slaughter off the corner. He's almost getting passed by Matthew Bell in the 9 on the inside. Couldn't quite get the pass done, but Hearn was able to get it done and will move up into 4th.
Wondering if that's the line Matthew Bell wants to run, or he was just not trying to hit Brad Slaughter Jr. But a lot of those times
Paul Irvin spin out of the hairpin. We saw him dropping down the timesheet. Let's see what happened to 48.
It's possibly just going to be a loop on his own. No one behind him. 77
Oh yeah,
there.
just got on the power too early.
So easy to do with these trucks. Just got so much power, but no rear grip. That's always going to happen if you're not careful.
As you mentioned, the leaders breaking away early on. Travis Beckner, James Scioli trying to separate themselves in the field. Essentially, at the moment at least, it looks like it's going to be a battle between these two for the top spot. Last night it was Scioli versus Nichols. Nichols won that exchange, and now Scioli's chasing down another driver tonight, but not Nichols. It's 28 Beckner.
I'm sure he's tired of this chasing thing. I think he'd rather being chased. Colin Fern struggling, coming into the hairpin. Here comes Cameron Hearn on the move. Started 8th. He's going to get into the top 3 pretty early. Nothing Fern can do about that. He's going to try a crossover. Doesn't have the grip for it.
He will continue that pursuit. Meanwhile, in behind, Cameron Hearn out ahead of Colin Fern for 3rd place. So Hearn now able to try to chase down the guys up ahead. Brad Slaughter still under attack from Matthew Bell in behind.
Matthew Bell, we saw last night in the Cup Series, he got physical, spun I believe the one of Seth Noel around. There was contact after the race. He's gonna really slide the rears coming over the hill, but we'll see if he gets physical tonight. No contact so far as we've seen. Up one position, up to the 6th position.
Hello.
Hurley's gonna go way wide. Be careful, watch the wall there. I don't think he was expecting to get past there. Ryan Hart's looking for 3 wide, trying to find lost time.
Some
He's
contact.
gonna get it. Yep, Roderick wide, Hurley's wide, and that's gonna give him position. The chance for Hart's to get 2 positions only gets 1. I'm sure he'll take that though.
That was just by AJ Roderick just overshooting the turn. Not sure that was on purpose or a mistake, but got the job done. So he's ahead of Hurley. Hurley probably not too happy that he just lost 2 positions, so he's going to probably be a little bit hot under the hood. And we've seen he's not afraid to move people out of the way. We saw that happen at Rockingham. He was aggressive and got him the win. We'll see what he does here. Do a little bit of look at the inside and behind them. That's Ray Slate in the 08. Light pink truck in line there, getting physical at the back of Tommy Ryan in the 99.
It might not have even touched. I love something cool about that when they're in a hairpin, they're bumper to bumper, but not making contact. You gotta have that precision. You don't want to screw up the front end like Colin Fern already has. Oh, got trouble in the hairpin. Speaking of, Paul Irvin's involved and his engine's gone. Big contact happened there. I don't know if that was Garrett Grant involved. I believe Tyler Hallman also had contact as well.
Take a look at what happened here with the Sim Wrap Market replay. Round he went again, same spot as before, 42 and Slazy spin into him. That was enough to give him terminal damage. Not sure how the 42's doing. Can't imagine he's not doing too hot either, but as we mentioned, most likely going to be the end of the 48's day. He's trying to just hang on at this moment.
A little unlucky. A shot to the right front puts the engine kaboom, so yeah, that's unfortunate. If he even is able to continue, he's going to be laps down, so unfortunate. He was looking to struggle. He was giving up spots, and I think that was a second slide I've seen from him out of a hairpin, so he was already struggling as Hallman's also got a big bit of damage. Can't even pass the 48.
Taking a look at the leaders, lead starting to close in just a little bit. Actually, that time it separated a little bit. It was gotten down to 0.3 of a second, now expanded back out to 0.5 of a second as they came out of the hairpin. So different points of strength for both of these drivers as they continue their fight on, trying to look for some more battles in the midfield. We were looking at this battle between Ryan and Ray Slate, taking a look back up at how things are going with Hearn, Fern, Slaughter, Bell, and Weishart. Weishart's starting to enter this little fray. It takes a solid helping of curve out of turn 3. Ooh, and you hear the tires sliding underneath them. And are you worried if you start sliding around this early in the run?
You definitely don't want to be doing it this early in the run. You have to be so careful if you want them to last for a full fuel run, like I think we'll see these drivers do, but definitely don't want to hear them sliding like that. That being said, didn't even seem like he had a big slide. It's just what the tires are doing, so it's going to be pretty hard to handle if they're already kind of struggling like that. Track temp 95, similar to what it was yesterday for the Cup Series, so a little bit different the way you got to manage these trucks compared to the Cup cars, but definitely going to be a struggle.
Jordan Martin on the attack of Eric Weiland, and all of them are in this entire group. You can see also Jacob Bell, Ryan Swan behind. Everyone's chasing the man just ahead of them. Danny Ware in the 00. You can see his little train going into the hairpin. We're a little bit hot, a little bit wide, maybe too wide as he struggles. That's a tough thing to do. You try to get back on the power. Bell in behind, wrecking loose, saves it, but loses the spot to Ryan Swan.
He saved a race truck, though, so that's the most important thing. He'll fall from the 17th position.
Back up ahead of them, though. Side by side into turn 1. It's 00 in the 21. No, and we're a little bit wide in turn 1. Almost gets in the grass.
He's going to try to keep overlap, though. Don't really want to go side by side up the hill like this. They're not side by side, though. 21's clear. Is going to chop the nose of a 00 of Danny Ware. And this is going to get pretty stacked up behind that 00 now as they go a little bit downhill into turn 4 here. Look to see Jordan Martin maybe looking to the inside into turn number 7 here. Not quite.
Great action in the midfield here, guys, slugging for positions when they can, waiting for their opponents to make some mistakes. Ryan Swan now on the back of Jordan Martin, duking out for 16th.
Well, Ryan Hartz has gotten by AJ Roderick, that's from the 8th position, so he's continuing his climb up near back to the top 5 as battle for 16th obviously still rages on back there.
Weishart and Slaughter exchanging positions, and if I'm not mistaken, want to confirm they are technically teammates? Technically teammates, because Weishart's actually in an open truck. He's not listed for a team. That being said, the team that Brad Slaughter is driving for is David Weishart Racing, so
Want to see
let the boss man on by.
Yeah, just let him go. Team orders. You know, it's only lap 9, but why not? Thinking about how far out these top 2 drivers are, they were 9/10 faster than third.
Oh, hello.
Cameron Hearn last time by. There's almost a little bit of contact there, but these 2 drivers last time by, their lap times were only 7/1000th of a second apart, and they were 9/10 faster than third place Cameron Hearn. So that shows that they're a level above the rest of the competition tonight, just like Scioli was last night, along with Jake Nichols.
And here's the thing, though, they're actually just about to approach lap traffic here. You can see 3 trucks up the road entering the hairpin, so they're already, it's only lap 10, they've already got to start worrying about traffic management. This is going to be big. Oh, and a spin up ahead on the 51 truck around the hairpin. It's Logan Hartman. Not a good start to his day. Started 36 back in 38th, and now has just gone a lap down as the leaders work their way on by.
Yeah, I was about to say he doesn't have damage, but he does have some left front damage, but as you're going to see, most of these drivers at the back are going to be pretty damaged. 4th place Colin Fern's just come down to pit road. This is a strategy we saw last night, pit early and run to the end. Maybe a little bit better to do here if you want to save some time on fuel. The 86 is going to be, as far as I've seen, the only driver to try this strategy so far, lap 10.
I think the big issue is, though, that you're going to be coming in for the tires as well. I would imagine you want to come in for the tires with the trucks at least, and you can see there go the jacks on the 86. So he's going to have to carry those tires essentially 30 laps. It's going to be a big task, a tall order to do here as we look at the leaders battle on. While we continue to watch them go on, just want to plug in the Area iRacing Twitch channel. Fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel for only $5 a month. You can watch all the Area broadcasts commercial free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in chat, and you'll also be able to earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise. It's the Area iRacing Twitch channel, which I'm sure quite a few of you guys are watching already at home, but if you're on YouTube, feel free to check them out, or even on Facebook as well, feel free to check out the Area iRacing Twitch channel here as we watch these guys in battle for the lead. And the big thing really, I think, you saw Cameron, sorry, not Cameron, a lot of C's and a lot of similar sounding last names, getting Hearn and Fern mixed up, but Colin Fern, you saw him make his pit stop. If you're the leaders, you know, talking about pit stops, when do you want to come in?
Let's see, last night it was a different story. We saw whoever ran longer was going to get the big advantage, and now with these top 2 so close to one another, it's going to be who blinks first. Scioli has the upper hand once they finally get the pit stop range. If he goes in earlier than Beckner, that 28's going to really have to hustle his in lap. See one driver going way off. Was that Slaughter? Who is that? A little
There's
bit wide.
Ryan Swan in the HyperX 19 Toyota Tundra. This is similar on exit. A lot of drivers struggling to get on the power. Went for a little bit of a spin. Somehow managed to save it, but way off the track.
Wrong way there. Almost the wrong way, at least. Ryan Swan is going to rejoin in about 18th position in front of the 45 truck. We saw Jacob Bell, the 77, came into pit. Maybe he's trying to pull the same strategy, but also he has a lot of front-end damage, so that might have been another reason why he came in so early.
Yeah, that is a decent helping in damage. That's going to be really affecting your power and also a little bit of the aerodynamic grip. Look at the leaders come back on through the start and finish line. The gap between second and third place about 8 seconds. Here come the leaders past there, and there comes Cameron Hearn. Currently sitting in that third place spot. Matthew Bell in behind them. David Weishart, Reinhardt's Brad Slaughter. Not sure what happened to Slaughter. Something happened to him a lap or two ago. Dropped way down the order. Actually, I think something happened to him last lap. Ran a 1:21.5. Big mistake for the 8 and mistake for a truck off the track. Comes out, I think it was a 66. Bobby Tinge.
Yeah, he's off track, trying to get back on track.
Another damaged truck.
Oh, look out!
Hello.
Oh, the battle for 10th got in the fray there a little bit. He's going to go back off track to try to get out of the way. He's going to rejoin in front of more drivers. Eric Wineland almost nowhere to go. He's just going off-roading, trying to get out of the way. The 66 struggling tonight in 36th place, a lap down already.
And nothing to look at. I mean, there really isn't much place to go to the White Chai here. You can see all across the track is pretty much inhabited by race cars. All the way around, there's not too much open space on track. And we saw drivers try to take advantage of that with the next-gen car because they were only pitting for fuel. Some guys trying to get some open, clean air. Couldn't quite find any because by around this point in the race, everyone was spread out.
Trying to see. Thought I saw some damage on the front end of the 7. He's dropped back a little bit from the race for the lead. Definitely see.
That might have been, yeah, it's definitely flat. I wonder if that was from we saw him give him a little bit of a shove down in turn 7. I want to think it's from that, but can't confirm that. I don't think he got it to anyone else.
Yeah, we'll see if that's affecting him. He lost 2/10 to the leader, Travis Beckner, last time by, so we'll see if that continues to hurt his chances at this race win. Other drivers coming into pit road, but only primarily lap trucks coming in at this time. A few battles starting to spread out a little bit. Jeff Ryan is in front of the battle for 24th. Justin Munsell, he continues to struggle, also with a severely damaged front end. He's dropped 4 spots from the beginning of this one.
Sure, but just saw Ryan Swan go off the track, or if he had an internet discontinuity. I think it was probably the latter there.
Yeah, it looks to still be on track. 18th place after his little slide.
Battle heating up. Ryan Hartz and David Weishart about to duking out for 5th place.
One of the only drivers who is even coming close to Beckner and Scioli's pace is that 3 machine of Ryan Hartz after getting spun by Colin Furr and charging through the field. That was why Brad Slaughter had a bit of a slower time, is because he was pretty much had no choice but to let the 3 back by him, as Hartz was in a battle for 3rd. Even after getting spun, he's already back in a battle for the top 5 position. Weishart, don't know how much longer he's going to be able to fight this one.
He's going to try his best here to hold in the Rick Sauce number 3, hold him up at bay, or just let him on by.
You know someone's faster than you at that point. It's usually better to find a good place to let him by and not lose too much time. So probably the smart move for Weishart.
Looking to do so. Saw an exchange for position. I think it's, no, Justin Munsell coming into the pits back down the order. So more and more drivers starting to peel off to pit lane. Some of the earlier battles started to sort them out. Oh, I was going to say some started to sort themselves out. Some heating up. Danny Ware getting turned off at turn 3.
David Weishart in the S's just got spun. He's destroyed as well.
Oh boy, it is all kicking off. Well, let's take a look at the incident up the road. You can see that truck is destroyed.
Really totaled. Unbelievable. What happened in the S's? Who is he lapping there? I don't think that was her position. 30, who's that, Michael Lee? Michael Lee, I believe.
Oh, he just got turned by a lap truck. That's unfortunate.
Oh, and hard in the tire barriers. That is so unlucky for that to happen. Weishart immediately going to hit pit lane. Tons of damage. Such a solid run.
And here is the other incident involving the 12 in the 00 Danny Ware, where I guess just going too slow for the 12's liking, and around he went.
Yeah, Shane Abbey just not messing around, I guess is one way to put it. Just was going faster up the hill and didn't really feel like lifting. 2 incidents up near the front, just completely changing the complexion of this race. Weishart, like we said, is going to have the early pit stop. He's going to go right back out there. So didn't end up repairing any damage, just figured, what the heck, I might as well get the pit stop over with and see what I can do. But that front end is toast.
That's unfortunate because he's having such a good day climbing up the order, and now he's going to be put back down in the pits, potentially out of this race. We'll see.
Travis Beckner just hit pit lane, but he just hit pit lane. The problem is he hit pit lane behind a lap truck. Charles Caneda was pitting right in front of him and really slowed up Beckner's entry lap there, so that could be huge.
It could be huge. We'll see. I'm sure Scully, I would tell you, I'm sure he's taking note, but I'm not sure he even knows what happened there. So we'll see if he's going to come in to respond to the 28 coming in just a little bit early, trying to cover the undercut.
And everyone's coming in. You look up pit road, Cameron Hurd, Matthew Bell, Ryan Hartz, all those 3. Few top 5 drivers, Rick, Raf Slate, everyone kind of responding, possibly coordinated from a lot of these guys. Lap 16, little just before halfway, but majority of the top 10 coming in.
So pit stops kicking off here. Majority of the field coming on down. A few guys still out there. James Scully, Jordan Hurley, Tommy Ryan, Eric Wineland, all not coming in. Travis Beckner going to come out on the track in 5th place. Just kind of showing you how much of a lead he had to everyone else. Made a pit stop, still running in the top 5.
See, coming into the hairpin, see if Scioli responds. He does not. Somewhat surprising, but his strategy might be completely different from the 28. So, going to be interesting how this works out. Slides out of the hairpin there.
I guess what he's trying to do is put himself run a little bit longer in this stint. Now he's got open track, doesn't have Beckner to worry about. He can just get his mind down and just focus on setting some decent lap times, come in a little bit later, have some fresher tires for the second half, and try to outdrive Beckner. So we'll see that strategy is going to work. That being said, though, Beckner, he's out with fresh tires, but with some lap traffic, he's got Eric Wineland at 21. He's got to navigate past. It's technically for 4th place on the track. Wineland yet to pit.
I was about to say that's one thing that was surprised to see Beckner pit that early. You put yourself in a little bit of traffic, especially not just on pit entry, but on track. Had to really slow up through the S's behind Wineland there. He's going to have Tommy Ryan and Jordan Hurley in front of him unless they pit in the next coming laps. Meanwhile, the 7 machine, well, they've gone through lap traffic, those leaders. Scioli has a relatively clean track in front of him, number of seconds up to James Shane Wolf and Carter Coop. We're battling for the 24th position on track.
Battle heating up between Matthew Bell, Cameron Hearn. We saw these guys running 3rd and 4th before pit stops began, and now heating back up on the track now that they got some fresh rubber underneath them.
With lap traffic coming up, Michael Lee in at 26 up ahead as well. That battle's actually 4th position, 30th. 26 going to try to stay out of the way. He's going to kind of swerve just to not hit the wall. Hearn's going to get around him. He'll get out of the way. Trying to see Matthew Bell. Didn't really have a look there, had no room behind them. Ryan Hart still trying to make up time. He's by Colin Fanbrough, who also hasn't hit yet.
As mentioned, here comes Ryan Hartz, sitting in 10th place. Trying to make up for the unfortunate situation he was in earlier in the race. Gonna go flying past 26 at the end of the S's. Tough place to get past people in the S's. You really gotta be committed and just kind of hope the other driver is willing to work with you. Colin Fern off. Not sure if that's internet or if he's called it a day.
I think that's calling it a day. Didn't look like he had any incident. He just decided this wasn't going to work and he's just going to pack it up early. Colin Fanbrough, he finally pits. I believe Eric Wineland came down as well. So a few more drivers trickling on down. These drivers could probably go maybe even 10 more laps on a full tank if they go on a full tank.
Colin Fern, I saw he had significant left side damage. Not sure if you can try to give me an update on that, Connor, because not sure that happened earlier in the lap or not. But yeah, he was coming to pit lane, and then I'm not sure if that was internet or if he ulted forward.
I think he actually hit the wall out of turn 4. He went too wide out of turn 4 and clipped that wall and severely destroyed the left side. And he decided, might as well call it a day. This truck's seen enough.
It's unfortunate because he was running so well up until that point. And also looking up ahead, still Scully yet to pit, and a few others. Jordan Hurley, Tommy Ryan, and Shane Abbey. Actually, just as I mentioned that, here comes Tommy Ryan on down. Shane Abbey also coming down to pit lane. So just a few stragglers out there left. A lot of guys coming in directly as we come to halfway here in just about just about half a lap's time as Scully works his way around the back part of the course. 66 in the grass, trying to stay out of the way.
We've been doing a lot of off-roading up there.
As if we're at the rallycross track.
That's downhill a little bit, Bobby. One thing that surprised me, one reason I'm surprised Scioli hasn't pit yet, you look at the times, just comparing them tells the whole story. 120.1 by Scioli last time by. Travis Beckner's already pit. About the lap before, about 3 seconds faster. Last time by a 1.5 seconds.
And here it comes as we come to halfway. James Scully going to be surrendering the lead here. It's going to be a little bit of time though. He's at 25 seconds back to Jordan Hurley. So leader finally coming in for what should be his only stop of the race. Seemed like he had a pretty decent time out there. It's a matter though, did Beckner manage to do anything with those fresher tires, or did he get hindered by slower traffic?
we'll have to see here. He's just now getting by Jordan Hurley, so that puts him effectively what would be the race lead. We'll have to see when the 7 gets out of pit road. Right side's already went up. Here come the left side.
Beckner's definitely going to get past him here. The question is now how much, because again, there is a different entire life. There you can see Scully finally getting out of the pits as Hurley's in behind. And here is Scioli coming out.
He gets out in front of Cameron Hearn, which is at least something. Hearn was, if he went another lap, Hearn might have even got by him. That battle for what is going to be the 3rd position still rages on. Hearn and Bell have been pretty much dead even the last few laps, as they're only a few seconds up from the battle for effectively, actually not effectively 5th, as Ryan Hartz is right in front of Miguel Holmes, which is a lap car. Brad Slaughter Jr. is still trying to close in on him, though.
Yeah, and as we just passed halfway, I want to give a thanks to Simrat Market, which is a replay sponsor. Fans, be sure to check out simratmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and can help you stay more focused on the racetrack. There's a couple of those Simrat Market cars out there on the track. Beautiful paint schemes across all 3 series. They do a fantastic job, so be sure to check them out at simratmarket.com. Anyway, back up at Beckner in the lead. Question is, how long can he hold on to this lead? Because Scioli's going to be coming at him. We know he's going to be charging. Or do you think the fresher tires are going to be worth it? I think there's, what, 4-lap difference in tires? Is it worth it?
I would have rather just... well, I don't know, because Beckner was kind of in a box. The 7, if he didn't pit, Scioli was definitely going to undercut him, and he was going to have no chance. At least by pitting early, it lets him keep that track position no matter what, and he's able to keep the lead. But now you're going to have worse tires than the 7 for the rest of the race. And once he gets to your bumper, it's going to be tough, because he's going to have grip advantage out of every single corner. It's going to be tough to defend on older tires. Scioli's already within about, I'd say, 3 seconds now, just about. You got to fend him off for 18 laps. It's going to be a tall order for Travis Beckner.
Battle heating up. AJ Roderick, Rafe Slate duking out for 10th place. You can see the pink and white truck just up the road from the 56. And we've seen Roderick be a little bit elbows out here, making a few passes. We'll see if he can try to get past the 08 as he's being held up by a slower truck. One of the 5-wide esports drivers, the 85.
Jeffrey Wilson just getting out of the way. Don't think he's pit either. So another driver we're waiting on. Not many left to pit as far as front runners are concerned. Pretty much all the front runners have already came back. Jordan Hurley is still out there. As I say that, he has finally came down the pit road.
I was going to say, I don't think there's really much point in seeing out too much longer. At some point, we're going to come down. That being said, he's going to be coming down. He's going to get out there. He's got some of the freshest tires out of anyone in the field. So he's going to feel like he's going to be lightning fast, and we'll see if he can try to use that to his advantage. Because he's going to have to make something happen, because he's going to lose quite a bit of track position from coming in so late. So that's kind of one of those things these drivers have to consider. Overcut or undercut? Do you want to be out there later with fresher tires or earlier with fresher tires?
Let's compare 4-lap different tires. Travis Beckner last time, minute 19.1. Scioli up minute 17.3. That's about 2 seconds right there. And he's already within about 1 second. This is not going to go the way Travis Beckner saw it going, I think.
Yeah, we always say catching is one thing, passing is another. That being said, when you're catching with a decent tire advantage, that could make things a lot easier. That's what we kind of expect for Scioli. But again, matter of getting it done is how much of a fight is Beckner willing to put up with keeping the 7 in behind. Of course, he has the advantage, but will he be able to find that opportunity here? Will the opportunity present itself as Beckner gets boxed in here behind one of the other 5-wide esports drivers, this time the 25 truck. Just about to go a lap down. It's Cody Cutterer.
He's going to stay in the way here up the hill. Nowhere for Beckner to go. Going to stay boxed in, and just like that, Scioli's going to already be on the bumper up the hill.
Yeah, this is not what he needs. He wants to try to keep that separation as much as possible. Now, gaps die down.
Ryan Swan's gone around up at the top of the hill. It's actually right in front of these guys. Matthew Cochran was the one who spun him out. Swan's already back going before the leaders are even there, but here comes Scioli.
Here comes Scully on the back. Here we see a great passing opportunity coming up. Already gives a bump, a little bit of a shove to the 28 saying, hey, I'm here. Does he look down to the inside, tries to make the pass, make the 28 run wide. He's going to turn him down in the corner, and Scully's going to muscle his way on by.
I didn't expect that to happen, but there was contact earlier. Maybe that was the plan all along. Didn't really even give Beckner a chance to fight him, just getting him out of the way. Scioli to the point.
I think was trying to play chicken here, hope the 28 would run wide, but Beckner kept his line. And that's what he got for trying to keep his line. Got a little bit of a half spin, didn't get fully taken out.
Problem in the hairpin, Shane Wolf went around. Jeff No as well. It's stacking up right in front of the leader.
Oh, Jesus, that is trap. Oh, Swan getting turned right.
Got him back.
Sorry, Swan turning someone in front of the leaders, as you mentioned, Matthew Cochran. Try to get a replay of that here, but there's still a swarm of trucks ahead. Just trying to see who that was. Can't quite tell. Some guys off the pace. The 55 truck now slow on the apex. Going to make Scully run wide just a little bit. Then the 26, Michael Lipe, just up the road ahead of them. And then the 2 of James Shanewolf up ahead, 24th. It's kind of died down. Let's take a look here. What on earth happened back in the hairpin? Oh, hello. This was a gaggle.
Travis Beckner really got held up by lap cars. He has a little bit of damage now, but yeah, just a stack up in the hairpin happened. Just trying to fit 3 cars in one lane. It's never going to work, the 2. Unfortunately, the innocent bystander in that. And then the 55 just kind of got stuck trying to get around him. The 16 of Cochran, excuse me, not the 16 of Cochran.
Yeah, you see the 4, and then there's Swan turning the 4. And we didn't catch what happened earlier, but supposedly Cochran had an incident with Ryan Swan. So that was Swan returning the favor. These guys are returning the favor like it's a short track. And we're at a road course.
It's a safe way to do it. Don't do it like Bubba. You do it like that. Just spin them into nothing.
Oh,
there.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Lipe was taking out the 28 of Beckner. I'm sure Beckner realized how close he was to getting taken out. This is a 26 overshot.
It's really kicking off now.
Oh, yeah.
In the second half of the race, everyone's thinking, screw it. We don't need defenders anymore. Just send it.
And speaking of a battle heating up, here you see Ryan Hart's on the gas pedal, trying to get to the inside of Bell before they get to turn number 1. Couldn't quite get there up to turn 2. Now up the hill, Hearn parking on the apex, trying to defend the position. Bell trying to get a run, and Hart's keeping it close and behind. 3-way battle for 3rd.
Shane Wolf is in the dirt up the hill out of turn number 3, just getting out of the way of the battle for 25th. Meanwhile, now it is, as you were saying, a 3-car battle for that, 3-truck battle for that 3rd position.
Yeah.
But Ryan Hartz has the fresher tires out of these 2, I believe, so we'll see if he can do anything quickly with these 2.
One of the IRLC drivers, Matthew Bell, having a solid day in 4th, started in 7th, so up 3 spots. And behind them, AJ Roderick Racely there, continuing their little spout, still haven't decided who's the faster one of these 2. Battling for 8th place now.
Slate's really sliding. A lot of left front damage on his car, but really not hindering him too much. Still in the 8th position. If you look, I'm trying to see, we can look up the road, 9 seconds of them. David Weishart with that early pit stop. He's still hanging in there. Front end completely beaten up.
Yeah,
still solidly in the 7th spot.
I'm surprised he's in 7th, but I mean, I guess we saw, well, he came in pretty much what everyone else did. Just has significant damage. I'm just surprised he's still in 7th. I thought he would have dropped outside the top 10, but he's still continuing onward. He's determined to finish this race. We'll see if he can. It's going to be a bit of a question mark if the engine can or not, depending how much damage it has. Didn't think it's too bad, but you never quite know.
Yeah, this is where you wish, as the broadcasters just viewing from the outside, we could see the temps. We don't really get that data.
or if it was like the F1 games and he had like a percentage.
Yeah, exactly. I wish we could see that, but unfortunately we don't. If we had Eric Weiland out there, we could see it, but unfortunately he's racing tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately he's racing. He is racing tonight and is doing pretty solid up in 14th after starting in 16th. It's stuck in the midfield. 14 laps to go, and as the race is winding down here, take a moment to mention Rick's Hot Sauce, as we got one of the cars in frame there. Actually get a nice close-up here for Rick's Hot Sauce. Fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauce made locally in South Florida. Be sure to follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see who will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standing. That's Rick Hot Sauce, rickshotsauce.com. As that machine in 5th place, trying to see if he can get up into 3rd in these closing stages. The laps counting down, the tires wearing out here as these drivers push them. And really for these guys, how much do you think they're worried about tire, or do you think they've got to throw out the window and it's just slugfest all the way?
You don't want to wear the tires out too much to the point where you can't drive for the last 10 laps, but you're in a battle like Cameron Hearn, you can't really save the tires. You kind of just have to go to the end at this point. Next time by will be 12 laps to go. Like we said, this is a run to the end. You're not pitting again, so you can't really care about keeping the rears on it. You just got to go from here. Travis Beckner's getting really held up, trying to see what he was complaining about on the radio. It's contact with Tom Bourne, and he might get burned. Got to be careful there. Bourne just kind of not letting him by there. Lap down in 23rd. Almost took out one of the top 3 there. It's getting tight in the hairpin as well. Scioli just went 3 wide around Danny Ware and Paul Irvin.
Yeah, I just want to check as I go into the hairpin, see if the 16 was going to try to do anything in return.
Oh.
You never quite know. But this is what, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Here's Beckner working his way on through with the 16. I think he was hoping the 16 would just yield because Tom Bourne is currently in 23rd, a lap down. So I think he's hoping that he would give the 20 a little bit more leeway. And you see Beckner just trying to check him off the track there, saying, hey, it's my spot, give it to me.
I'm in second. Why are you racing me?
Yeah, I'm second. You are 23rd. Stop fighting me. And here's a fight, speaking of which. Roderick and Slate side by side. We think I just saw a driver go off to the right-hand side. Indeed, that is. Oh, almost 3 wide there on the front straightaway, but it's going to be Rafe Slate muscling his way past, or actually back ahead of Roderick, who we think was trying to attack, and Tommy Ryan back in the mix again, all fighting it out for 8th place.
Yeah, Rafe Slate, I think, is holding this group up, but Roderick can't do anything. Slate had the pick play there. Lap car getting in the way, Carter Coupe. You don't want to go 3 wide on the front straightaway. So Slate barely holding on, but he's got 3 hungry drivers that I believe are all faster than him. Jordan Hurley, remember, he was one of those guys who pit extremely late, so he has the freshest tires out of a bunch. It's working out so far. He has a chance to get into the top 8. No lap traffic. Look out up ahead. Trying to see who that is.
Oh, here comes Tommy Ryan to the inside of the 56. Can't quite get established alongside enough to get past. And there was, I think that's the 53 getting in the way.
Oh, really in the way.
Of Rafe Slate, and now in the way of AJ Roderick. And there, I imagine all these guys probably yelling at him. If not on the radio, just yelling at him by themselves.
Well, Rafe Slate's probably like, yes, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Oh, he's going to go wide.
He's going to run Roderick off the track as he's trying to get by. Ryan's going to try to get by now in the hairpin.
Looks like it's going to be all clean somehow, even though they almost tried 3-1 again. Tommy Ryan, the big winner in that. Big loser is going to be AJ Roderick. He was battling for that position the entire time, but now he's going to lose 2 spots.
Whoa,
and now he's back.
Just as a cut to the 9, he runs wide. Here comes Ryan Hartz out of turn 5.
It's going to be position done, I think. Bell just got sideways behind one of the other trucks. Contact made. Hartz didn't complete the pass, and I think the 9 tried to cross him over. Hartz parked it on the apex, so the 9 couldn't do that.
Yeah, it's out of turn 4. There goes Bell, making a big mistake. I was just trying to check and see how the battle was going, if that was heating up, and there it was. There, the big move from Ryan Hartz himself back up into 4th. Now it's a matter of chasing down Cameron Hearn, who broke away a little bit in that skirmish. Look back at Brad Slaughter Jr., he's been a little bit up and down tonight. Started in 6th, running in 6th. Doesn't quite give the whole picture. He's gone up and down the order with some mistakes, but has clawed back some position. He's got 5.5 seconds, though, to Matthew Bell, so it's going to be a little bit of time before he gets back to any competition up ahead.
Battle for 10th is pretty much done. Jordan Hurley on those fresher tires up into the top 10, and now going to set his sights on Tommy Ryan. And they still all have to catch all the way back up the Raff Slate again after the lap car kindly got in everyone else's way to give them a little bit of a better gap.
And Hurley still got a ways to go. He's trying to make up some ground. I'm not sure when he actually, what position he came in before, what position he was in before the green flag pit stops. I want to say around this position. I think probably 7th or 8th was around where he was. Just outside the top 5, and it looks like with 10 laps to go, that might be where he ends up. We'll see if he can continue this pace. Should be able to make quick work of Tommy Ryan, but we'll see here as he gets a great run out of turn 3 into turn 4. Going to try to have a look to the inside. Tough place to make a move, but a great place to set up a move.
Going to the inside there is not the way to set it up. Hurley was 10th before pit stop, so breaking even right now, but definitely has the opportunity to have a net gain as they get around to 24. James Cooey, another lap truck, was not able to have a look on Tommy Ryan there, though.
You have to wait for another opportunity to present itself. One of the closest battles on the racetrack at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan Hartz and Matthew Bell still close to each other, but really don't see that battle getting closer. Hartz, I believe, the fresher tires.
Yeah, actually, Hart's now getting close, really close to the back of Cameron Hearn now. Battle for third heating up.
Surprised. Cameron Hearn kind of struggling. Has a little bit of front end damage, but nothing as bad as we've seen on other drivers. That 67 struggling at the end of this run. Don't know how he's going to be able to fend off Hartz with about 8.5 laps to go. He's got 2 drivers that are ready to take that position.
Off the curve they go in turn 4, down to turn 7 now. Hart's just a slight look. You see Hart's getting a great apex, struggling to get on the power though into the S's. There's Tom Bourne. We saw Bourne get in the way earlier on. Will he leave way for Hearn and Hartz as they come battling on through?
My guess is going to be, I don't think he knows. There's another driver getting completely out of the way. That's Paul Urban just stopping to let everyone by. It's one way to do it. Oh, spin. That was Tom Bourne. That's one way to get out of the way. He spun in front of those guys and into a tire barrier.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be a way out of traffic, so we'll keep an eye on this as Hartz tries to get alongside the 67 of Cameron Hearn. Can't quite get there. Team's still struggling to get on the power as they come through the left-hander, then back through turns 1 and 2 here. So he's close, but does he have enough tire left to get past Hearn?
Tom Bourne had to reset. He was actually stuck in that tire barrier,
Yeah.
so unfortunate potential end to his day. Nothing you could really do about it. As you're saying, the battle for third rages on. Hart's not close enough to really have any sort of look. Trying to look at other battles through the field. 19th through 21st, pretty close. Colin Fambro with the first car a lap down, first truck a lap down, right in front of Garrett Grant, Jeffrey Wilson. The battle for 19th, pretty close.
Okay, getting very close, almost about a punt. Colin Fambro off in the final corner. Here comes Jeffrey Wilson, 85, trying to take advantage of the 46. Couldn't quite get along to the left-hand side. Here comes the 46, dive at the inside in the hairpin.
I thought it was a dive bomb, but it was really a well-coordinated pass, so pretty clean for him to make that move there. Trying to look up through the field. Eric Wineland is battling Jordan Martin for 13th. I believe he's got in that position. Jacob Bell with that front end, still 15th somehow.
Jordan Hurley just getting past Tommy Ryan. Down on the far side of the track in turn 7. He'll move himself up into 9th place.
And now he's going to be next in line to try to get by the 08 of Rafe Slate. He's been holding on to that position a little bit. Definitely a lot of skill in that 08 tonight.
Whoa!
Definitely.
As you say that, almost went flying off in the tire barriers.
He just wanted to show the skill. No problem there.
Ooh, and struggling a little bit in the hairpin, shot a little bit wide. Hurley looking pretty quick in behind, so we'll see if 7 laps to go is going to be enough for Hurley to try to muscle his way on past.
Same thing goes for Ryan Hartz on Rafe Slate. Cameron Hearn's been able to kind of stay put on the apexes, not letting the 3 have any sort of luck. Hartz looked to be outside there, but lost a little bit of time. Matthew Bell's looking to be nowhere in this battle as he continues to drop off those 2.
Here, taking a look at Bell, way up the road. Or are you talking about? Oh, never mind.
Talking about Matthew Bell, just not as quick. Trying to look at when these guys pit. Ryan Hart's pit around, I believe, lap 17, which is actually when Matthew Bell pit as well. So 9 just not taking care of the tires like he did on run number 1.
And there's Matthew Bell's pit delta, and there's Jordan Hurley. You can see 6 lap difference between the 2. Of course, Bell way up the road. No way for Hurley to really catch him at this point, unless Bell makes a big mistake. But Hurley still trying to catch the back of Rafe Slate here. It's closing up ever so slowly, 10th or so a lap. He's still got Tommy Ryan in behind, so he can't quite not look in his mirror. He's still got to worry about some guys coming at him again. Up ahead, whoa, driver Ray off the track, letting drivers on by. Hart's a dive to the inside of Cameron Hearn. Couldn't quite get there, but he's starting to make some moves.
Thought we were going to get physical again, but not quite yet. Still looking at that 8th through 12th sort of bit. Slate's got Hurley all over the rear bumper up through turn 3 now. Hurley, it's almost inevitable where he's going to get this position.
It's going to be inevitable, but where is he going to make that move here? Heading through turn 4. Up and over the curbs. Hurley's got the run down to turn 7. Got a little bit of a run. He peels off to the right-hand side, makes a dive. Lock up. Somehow doesn't hit the quarter panel of the 08, but can't quite get there.
Slate went defensive, didn't give him the full inside line, kind of forced Hurley to make a lunge there at the very end, but he's able to make it work and not at least wreck the driver ahead.
These drivers flying through the S's here in these closing laps. Battle still heating up and in the top 10. This battle we've been watching for 8th place, sorry. As Early making a dive on the inside, blinked out for a second, almost took out the 08. Somehow he didn't. Not sure the internet is connecting there helped the situation.
I think it might have. They might have wrecked if he was there. I don't know. That was a lunge at the very end. I think he just did that just to not hit the rear end, as he's doing it again. Just showing the nose every other corner, showing Slate that he's there and maybe trying to put the 08 off his game. And meanwhile, that battle for third still rages on, but even still, Ryan Hartz has not found a way to even attempt the pass yet.
Yeah, Solo is looking for that opportunity to present itself here as they are coming to what should be 4 laps to go. Should be, yeah, Scully comes past the line. 4 laps to go for the leaders. Running out of time, running out of opportunity for these drivers. Also just wanted to quickly mention the Area iRacing shop. Fans, be sure to check out areiiracing.shop for merchandise to represent your favorite driver. Shop from our selection of t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, and more. That is areiiracing.shop.
Oh, big send. Hurley just sent it really deep. He's going to overshoot the corner. He had a shot there, but just a little bit too deep. He's going to have to make sure he doesn't lose another position as he gets out of the corner. Slate is going to survive once again. That was almost a crash.
Take a look at what happened here. Looking into the hairpin, he felt he saw the opportunity. A big dive down to the inside. And Slate played that masterfully. Just let the fire go on through and said, thank you very much. Got the spot back.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Slate moved just a little bit under braking, but wasn't really enough to be labeled as dirty. Just enough to put that 5 car off his game just a little bit longer.
Yeah, now question is, does he have enough tire or anything left in that truck to catch Slate again now that he made that big mistake?
Have to wait and see. Still looking to see if Ryan Hartz can do anything with Cameron Hearn. It just seems like he's stuck maybe in a little bit of dirty air. Even times every other lap there. Just can't gain enough to have any sort of look into the hairpin or into turn 7 quite yet.
Laps coming down, 3 laps to go this time by. Hearn a little bit slow through turns 1 and 2. It's hard to get there. This is what we're talking about. He's close. He's right off the bumpers. The 4 truck lets them on by, but can't find any opportunity to get on by her. And you see him running over the curb, is trying to get some runs off the corner, but nowhere to put his truck.
It's as close as he's been. If he can just stay close out of turn 4, but even I don't think that's close enough unless he really wants to send it, which I don't think that's something he wants to do quite yet. Hearn's going to go defensive. Hart's going to try the outside. Nothing doing. Hearn's just planting his truck onto these apexes beautifully.
Doing everything he needs to do. Meanwhile, his battle in behind. Hurley trying to catch back up to race Slate, but's got to worry about Tommy Ryan and Shane Abbey. Not even. I say that Shane Abbey sideways in turn 3.
Oh,
can't hold on, and around he goes.
I thought he was about to save it, just couldn't get that last sideways kick to get straightened out. Luckily for him, 13th Eric Weiland's still very far back. He'll still have multiple seconds on him. He'll only lose a position, but a lot of time and could have had a few more positions.
Yeah, this is so tough to do at this point. These tires are next to shot for some of these guys, especially if you haven't been looking after them properly. So all you need to do is to get a little bit sideways in the race. It becomes incredibly hard to save. He was so close, but fortunately it wasn't quite enough. Only he still lost 1 position. It was a massive gap in behind those guys back to Eric Wineland, who's sitting in 13th. He's trying to see if he can chase down the 12 here to get 1 last position. Take a look at our leader here. Here's James Scioli coming to the S's now. Travis Beckner now just coming through turn 7. Only back to this battle, Cameron Hearn, Ryan Hart's here. A lap and a half to go for these two to sort themselves out.
Look at Hart's kind of playing games under brake and swerving left and right, trying anything he can to put Cameron Hearn off his game and make him make a mistake, but all he did there was hurt himself and lose time as Hearn gets a bit of a gap to navigate now. As one battle there, another battle further back, still trying to see if Rafe Slate can get caught here. Hurley's back to the rear bumper, and Tommy Ryan's been able to stay in this fight as well.
Meanwhile, back up front, white flag for James Scioli. One more lap to go. We'll see if he can get it done. He has nothing but clean track ahead of him and behind him. Meanwhile, into the hairpin, Cameron Hearn parking it on the apex. Ryan Hart's trying to take it on the outside, tries to switch it back to the inside, tries to get a run to see if he can have a look as they also come to take the white flag. So great battle there. And also, hell of this slugfest. There's the 5 Cup back up to the 0-8 of Rafe Slate. I think I'm going to be busy this last lap because I think things are going to get spicy for these two battles.
Bobby Tinch spun out of, I believe, maybe turn 10, turn 11. He almost rejoined right in front of Tom Bourne. That was almost a big crash, but he'll get it back going before this battle for 8th gets there. Hurley's going to go way too deep again. He's going to barely miss the tires. He's actually going to stay to the inside, but he won't have the traction to stay there. That got dramatic for a moment. Meanwhile, up the front, that's 7 still clicking laps off as he comes through the S's for the final time. Yeah,
taking a look quickly here at Cameron Hearn, Ryan Hart's. No change for position here as they come through the S's now. We cut back up to James Scioli. It's been a fantastic race for him. Didn't lead all the laps. Didn't check here. Might have led the most laps. Just barely led the most laps. Going to lead 22 compared to Beckner's 18. But he came out and played the strategy perfectly, and he will come to take the checkered flag first and will win at Sonoma. Quickly checking in behind, here's Travis Beckner and Cameron Hearn. Ryan Hart's into the hairpin for the final time. Battle for third. Hart's trying to battle alongside the 67. Couldn't quite get there. And Cameron Hearn, as long as he can make it back in one piece at a few hundred meters, he will get that third place done. Fantastic job there. And we look back to this crazy battle going on. Battle for 8th place, Rafe Slate, Jordan Hurley, Tommy Ryan, even Adrian Roderick in the mix here. They got a lap truck ahead. This can get crazy. We've already seen the 5 dive twice into the hairpin, and he's there.
Oh yeah, you can bet he's going to go for it this time. Is Slate going to block? Where's the lap truck going to go in this? I don't know, but Hurley's sending it. There's going to be contact. Not too much. He might spin him out all over the bumper. He's going to be able to get away with the position. Great defending by Rafe Slate. Bobby Tinch into the tire barriers there.
Yeah, it gives for both of them struggling to get back on the power, but it'll be Rafe Slate back to the line first to take that 8th place. Hurley in 9th, Tommy Ryan 10th. Whew, that was intense last lap right there.
That was an insane piece of driving from those guys. Shane Abbey's going to come home 12th. Wineland 13th. Not too many battles at the back. Jacob Bell actually just got passed by Justin Munsell. That'll be 16th for Munsell. 17th maybe. Yeah, 16th for the 88 machine. He's banging into the outside wall. Jacob Bell 17th. Crazy, crazy finish. And great strategy by the 7 truck. He was not in the lead when pit stops started. He ran long after the 28 short pit, and it was the winning move. Great job by Scioli.
You see him burning it down in the hairpin, lighting it up. Going for a wild ride, just parallel to the drag strip, lighting it up. Well earned for the number 7, was chasing down Jake Nichols last night. And finally is able to get the victory here at Sonoma. And as he parks it on the start-finish line, take a chance and look at the rest of your race results. And you can see right there, yep, actually I have to not see right there. I'm going to page through one more time. There we go. James Scully, of course, taking the win. Travis Beckner, 10 seconds behind in 2nd place. Unfortunate, but the Beckner didn't quite have enough there at the end.
It was just coming down to strategy. He short pit to try to keep the track position, but Scioli, that 7 machine, just countered by going longer, and he had the huge tire advantage that ended up being the deciding factor. And one thing that really hurt the 28 was traffic. He did not get through traffic well at all, whether in pit road or on track. And that really cost him a shot to compete for this race. And obviously, Scioli kind of gave him the bumper, didn't even give Beckner a shot to really battle straight up. So I'm interested to see what the 28 thinks of that. But Scioli had the right strategy. Beckner just couldn't execute.
Yeah, taking a look at the rest of the order, Cameron Hearn, Ryan Hart's there, fantastic battle for 3rd and 4th. Matthew Bell, Brian Slaughter having relatively quiet days towards the end of the race. Weishart coming home in 7th with his damage machine. He I guess, got kind of lucky there. Didn't really have anyone to fight him, and I don't think that truck was in a fighting mood. The 0-8 race Slade, of course, winning that battle against Jordan Hurley and Tommy Ryan. And cutting back to our next page, AJ Roderick also as well in that fight. Shane Abbey, you saw him go for a wild spin, will still stay ahead. And Eric Wineland in 13th with Jordan Martin 14th and Justin Munsell in 15th.
Munsell, one of the bigger movers of the day, up +7 spots. Rafe Slate was also up +7, so good run through the field for those guys. Back half of the top 20. 88 Shane Jacob Bell, Seiden Faden, Garrett Grant, Jeffrey Wilson. A few of those guys really close to each other for those top 20 spots. Got pretty wild for some of those positions, as we saw.
Yeah, and then guys back in the 20s, Colin Fambro, Danny Ware, Ryan Swan, we saw go for a few spins today and have be caught up in some incidents. Cody Cutter in 24th, Jeff Ryan 25th. Carter Coop, Shane Wolf, Kaneda, Holman, Bourne, rounding out your top 30. And then as we get to the last page of drivers that really didn't have a good day. Although that being said, we had quite a few guys end up finishing this race. 35 ended up finishing. So I really think we were at 20-something, high 20s in the finishers for last night. So quite a few finishers tonight. Leith Hicks, Paul Irvin, Cahill Combs, Colin Fern, and Logan Hartman calling it quits early on.
Colin Fern was one of those guys on that sheet that definitely had speed, qualified third, had contact early, and just could never recover with the damage he had. And just compounding mistakes on top of one another is really what did his day in. And Josh Taylor and John Bogner didn't really even get their race started. Early exits for those two, 41st and 42nd.
Yeah, one man definitely didn't have an early exit, but had a thrilling battle towards the end there. Cameron Hearn. Cameron, we saw you had your mirrors full pretty much the entire last half of the race. First, you're fighting off Matthew Bell, and then it came down to you and Ryan Hartz in those closing laps. Walk us through what happened.
Yeah, it was tough. I knew Bell kind of struggled on the long run. That's what happened the first half of the race. He was fast, and then it kind of fell back a little bit. And Ryan was probably top 3 fastest trucks all night. I think he got spun out in early laps and taking his way up the field. But I appreciate him racing me clean. There's a lot of times that he could have moved me out of the way and pretty much did to me what someone else did to him earlier in the race. So appreciate him racing me clean. He definitely had a faster truck there at the end. But it's all about maintaining, not messing up. And luckily, I just had enough speed to keep him behind me.
Yeah, just taking a look, I saw a lot of you guys came in around, I think lap 17, lap 18, or I think lap 16, lap 17, around that time. Was there any particular reason a lot of drivers ended up deciding to pit there, or what was your thought process with that?
Monkey see, monkey do. I got a thing on the radio like, hey, the leaders are pitting, so it means one of the guys up front's pitting first or second, and I just followed them in there. But I actually think hitting later would have helped you. I think those guys on old tires were flying up through the field, but then again, you're dealing with slower cars. So risk and reward. I've had bad finishes start the year, so I wanted a chance at top 5, and I figured new tires, passing traffic would be the ideal situation to keep me out of trouble.
Yeah, you weren't able to get the win, Cameron, but solid third place finish.
No, I appreciate it. I'll give a shout out to Matco Tools, Virtual Racing School, Roast Jim's Coffee, Swim Market Wrap and Live Block Series, all the sponsors. Keep it going. You guys broadcast an awesome job. Already got text saying how awesome, best road course races people have watched online on YouTube, so I appreciate it.
Thank you, Cameron. And moving on to our second place finisher, Travis Beckner. Travis, we saw you got off to an early lead. It was pretty much a battle between you and Scully throughout all of that race, but unfortunately didn't quite have enough pace in the second half. What happened there?
Yeah, just mixture between lap cars trying to race me as a lead lap car and just pitting a little bit too early. Skylar and I were talking about it, but he did what he had to do to get by me, and it happens. Just Robin's racing, and couldn't do anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, besides that, looking at the strategy, would you have changed anything? We were just talking to Cameron. He's saying he might have thought, pitting later would have been better. Of course, you went for the undercut. Scully went for the overcut. Do you feel like reversing that would have helped you, or do you think the result would have been the same?
Yeah, I think reversing that would have helped out a lot, because when I was going into the pits, I got held up by, I don't know what truck it was, but I got held up by a truck. couldn't gain as much time as I wanted to in the pits.
Well, Travis, unfortunately, it wasn't the win for you, but still a very solid second place.
Yeah, before I go, can I thank a few people?
Absolutely, go ahead.
First off, I'd like to thank Rick's Hot Sauce, Lodgebox, Wax Electric, and Call Your Cutters, and of course, my family helping me out with this. Just had Hurricane Ian come through a few weeks ago, but everything's back to normal. Back at my dad's house now, so regular setup, and see what we can do next week at Iowa in all 3 series.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to hear everything's okay with the family, Travis. And last but certainly not least, we'll come to the man that won the race, James Scioli. James didn't quite have anything in the first half, but the second half was really shown.
Yeah, I was making quite a few mistakes behind Travis. He was just honestly running a really good race that first run, and I was just kind of making some mistakes behind him. There were a couple times where I was shifting like I would in the Cup car, and it kind of messed up a couple corners. So then I lost time and then had to try and get it back. So I knew that second run I just had to clean it up. And once I saw him go into the pits, I kind of saw him get held up by a lap car, and I felt like he'd probably pitted just a little bit too early. So I knew I was just going to try and stay out a couple more laps and then get him on the fresh tires, which ultimately is what I was able to do.
Yeah, definitely managed to pull a solid strategy off. James, we know you're definitely one that likes the road courses. I'm trying to look up the schedule quickly before we let you go here coming up. Any other, obviously, I think, what have we got on the road course side of things? Yeah, Indy road course late. Oh, nope, that is for the Cup Series. Looking at the wrong schedule. Give me 1 second. Where's the next one?
I believe this is the only true road course, so we have Indy Road and Cup and Xfinity, I believe, but so just the one in the truck. So glad I was able to get this win, first win for Sci-Fi Racing as well. So happy for that too.
Yeah, definitely happy. Well, I guess I'll rephrase my question of what I was going to ask. Any other tracks that you're looking forward to in the truck series, potentially getting win number 2?
I'm honestly really looking forward to next week. I really like Iowa. I think it is super fun to drive. You can kind of run the bottom, the middle, and the top, and all make speed, and it kind of, depending on the setup, and I think we're middle of the day, so it kind of comes down to throttle control, and that's kind of that's mainly the tracks that I like, or when it comes down to just trying to control the rear of the car. So I definitely think that's one that I got circled, and yeah.
Well, James, thanks for talking to us. A really solid win there at the end. Managed to get things on a little bit of a bump, but managed to drive away.
Yeah, thanks guys, and I just a big thanks to you guys in the booth, Elwood and all the admins for everything they do, and then Butt Kicker, Dandles, Matco Tools, Chris Sports Cards for all being on the car. And like I said, happy to get Sci-Fi their first one in the truck series, so hopefully this is the first of many, and we're locked in now, so hopefully we can start building up some playoff points here.
Definitely. Thanks for talking to us, James.
Yeah, thanks guys.
And with that, it's going to be wrapping up interviews here from Sonoma. Connor, your final thoughts?
Definitely a different race from what we saw last night. We saw long runs really dictate where people finish tonight. There's a little, I wouldn't say attrition. I think we had more drivers finish tonight, but a lot of drivers with front end damage, stack-ups that at some points we didn't even see. Strategy came into play in the form of when you pit for tires. Pitting early certainly wasn't the move. It cost Travis Beckner the race after he had the race lead for the first, I believe, 16 laps or so. So lap traffic got in the way, and a little bit of an assist from James Scioli to get out of the way. Ended up paying dividends for the 7. A lot of great racing all around the track, but these trucks definitely put on a show, and Scioli put on the greatest show of all, leading the most laps possibly. Definitely led a lot tonight, and definitely a deserving winner by 10.2 seconds over that 28. Great job from him.
Yeah, absolutely managed to get the job done here. Fantastic show from everyone tonight. Well, if you're like more road racing action here for the area series, don't go anywhere, because on Thursday, the Lodgebox Series will be heading not to Sonoma, but to Mid-Ohio. So a new track for some of the drivers. We'll see how much practice they're able to get, and if they can get adjusted there to the tight, twisty turns of Mid-Ohio. It's a very technical racetrack. We'll see who's going to come out on top over there. Next week, all 3 series will be heading to Iowa, so that'll be also fun. A great track, great facility there. If you like more road course racing on SimTV, we'll be heading tomorrow night to VIR for the Washington D.C. region SCCA. They're going to be starting off their point season with their race at at VIR with the Ford Mustang and the NC Cup Miata. So some nice road course racing action there from that series. But for now, it'll be myself, Finn Yakuna, here with Connor Horn at SimTV, and we'll be signing off for tonight. Thank you for watching.